What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Kanye West is making sure that 2016 is his year. He's dominated headlines. It seems like every other day Kanye is in the headlines for something, whether he's calling out Taylor Swift in a song, whether he's giving us an update on his album, whatever the case, Kanye West has stayed in the headlines. He has not left the headlines since like the beginning of this year. Pretty much ever since he returned to Twitter. Twitter has been an outlet he's been using a lot more frequently to kind of project his voice out there, and I think it's a good thing. One of the things that Kanye West said today was a new album is coming this summer. And he kind of threw it out randomly. Like, he was ranting about the Grammys. He wants the Grammys to be culturally relevant again. He was showing love to Future, saying, have the Grammys even heard March Madness? And we need Future to perform at the Grammys. Did you see how the man owned the clubs last year? And he was saying, we also need someone like Young Thug being represented at the Grammys. And I think he's right. I think the Grammys need more of a hip hop presence, but at the same time, it's also not the Grammys' job to do such a thing. I mean, the Grammys covers all kinds of music, so it's not just Kanye West, it's not just hip hop, but at the same time, we do definitely need some more representation. I feel like hip hop kind of still gets that kind of like the cold shoulder. It's represented at the Grammys, but is it represented really well? I don't really know. But regardless, Kanye went on his long rant and he said a lot of things. And I think it's interesting how Kanye is using Twitter as his means to get the communication out there. Like he's talking to let me grab the dude's name. His name is Neil. He's a part of the Grammys, like one of the people that runs it behind the scenes and all that. And he was talking about how he wants a meeting with the guy. But in my opinion, I think, and I don't know, but I think Kanye West himself could be doing more privately than he is publicly. I think publicly, people are starting to kind of write him off a little bit. In a sense that, he's saying all these things, but just putting the words out there is not enough. Like the Mark Zuckerberg thing. He said, he wanted to do business with him. Well, you're Kanye West. Is there any reason in the world why Mark wouldn't at least take a meeting up with you? If you came with like the type of plan that would be good, I think Mark would take a meeting with him. I don't know him personally, so maybe I'm wrong. But at the same time, I just think it's kind of cool just to see Kanye really project his ideas out there. But at the same time, I want to see some action. He talks about how he wants to make the Grammys culturally relevant. And I would love to just see him, do some other things. He said, one of the tweets was, people ask why I speak in a public forum. Well, my voice is my power. Freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, freedom of dreams. I guess, that kind of answers my question. That's why he speaks out. And like I said, it's not a bad thing that he speaks out publicly like this. I just want to know if he's doing anything privately. He's talking, openly to this Neil guy, and I don't even know if he's on Twitter or not. I'm sure he'll hear about it, but at the same time, how much of an effect would it have been if Kanye had privately kind of reached out to him and said, hey, I would love to sit down with you, kind of talk about the Grammys and see if we can, get some representation for hip-hop a lot better. I wonder how far that would have gone. And then Kanye telling us about it later. So, I don't know. I think his rants are just interesting. They're interesting to read. And the one thing that I really want to see on his next album, which I kind of wanted this video to be a lot more about that, but we kind of got into the rants are that interesting. But getting into the album just a little bit, I think I want to see more lyrics that kind of represent these rants. That's the one thing that was missing from the life of Pablo. And I feel like lyrics in general were missing from the life of Pablo. There's the quotables on the album are pretty much like the Ray J line, the Taylor Swift line. They're lines dedicated to getting headlines. Kanye didn't put as much work into the lyrics as he did the production, as he did, the guest features, as he did with just making it sound like a beautiful piece of music. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's, the lyrics haven't been brought up in the sense of like they're horrible. I've seen some people say, they're not up to par, but I think a lot of people love the overall product. But on this next album, I would love to see Kanye really dive into the subjects he talks about. I want to hear him rap about the Grammys and how he wants that to be, culturally relevant again. I want to hear him rap about being in debt and how that affects him mentally and, everything that he's been talking about. I just want to see that. I think that would have just as much of an impact as, his Twitter, if not more. Pretty sure it would have more of an impact. Like, if you put this type of things that you're talking about in a song, it's going to be there forever. Obviously, tweets eventually one day are going to just be obsolete. We're just going to forget about it and move on to the next social network. I mean, it happened with MySpace and all that. But I don't know. I would love to... I just want to know where Kanye's going to go with this next album. He's very fired up. And I don't imagine him stopping his Twitter anytime soon. I don't imagine him stopping from doing everything that he's been doing. And I think it's going to be an exciting year for Kanye West. And I hope he makes the progress that he's been talking about. And I hope he makes another body of work that stands up to The Life of Pablo, like, overall, and then improves on the lyrics. But those are my hopes for the album. That's my thoughts on his latest rant. I'd love to know your thoughts on his rant, about the Grammys. And also, what do you want out of Kanye West's next album? Do you want the same thing that I want, or do you want something totally different? Let me know in the comment section below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter at Sermons Domain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.